Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla. Watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Klim Induction glove, available at RevZilla.com. See that white glove right there? That is the old Klim Induction. The one I'm wearing on my left hand is the new Klim Induction. New for the spring of 18, two-season hot weather, and for the most part, I like a lot of the changes they've made to the new Induction, including staying around the $130 mark. Now, the old Klim Induction, when it came out, we made a bunch of O.J. Simpson jokes. But I will tell you, outside of the O.J. Simpson jokes, I will look at this glove and I will tell you that my biggest gripe was the fitment. I thought it was an extremely uncomfortable glove. I felt all the seams. I looked at the price. I looked at the breathability. He said there's a lot of great components here, but ultimately it doesn't fit as well as I want it to. So I will tell you, moving to the spring of 18, with the new Klim Induction, which also comes in a gray version, the thing they addressed that really shocked us was the fitment. Two-season, hot weather, short cuff, it will flow a ton of air. They've upgraded the protection scheme, but the fitment on this glove is much more svelte. I don't feel the seams. I don't feel any issues in my finger. The pre-curve works really well. Ultimately, I like the fact, in one of the other Klim videos, I believe it was the Vanguard, we talked about the overkill nature of the auto-locking zipper on the medial side of the wrist. On that glove, they didn't need it. On this glove, I do think they need it because it's such a snug fit. And remember, it is going to be leather and it'll break in about 10%. That it's easier to get on and off if you have the ability to give yourself some relief right there along the inside. Ultimately, the other thing you're going to notice too is that the fingers are externally stitched on the new glove versus the old. And I will tell you that the old is a cleaner look, but the new one fits much better. So they're sacrificing some of the clean lines by giving you this external box stitch, especially on the top side of the finger. But what they're allowing it to do is just get all of those seams away from your fingers and just feel like butter when you have it on your hand. Now, quick note on fitment, as we are really homing in, two-season hot weather is easy to understand, but the big change here is how comfortable this glove is. I'm wearing a size large. It typically fits me consistently within the Klim line. I also wear a large in an Icon, in a First Gear, in a Revit these days, which fit more American. Use the size chart, no surprises here. Remember, it'll break in about 10%. And ultimately, keep in mind, it is a very, very snug glove. You do have adjustability on the bottom side of the wrist as well. So again, big standout feature here as you move into the new version. Keep in mind, we'll ship for free over 39 bucks. I'd also love it if you click our logo, subscribe to RevZilla on our YouTube channel, leave me your comments, your questions, your feedback on the new Induction. So working our way back into the glove, let's walk through some of the other changes and constructive materials. Now, if we look at it, back of the hand has changed. We still have mesh down towards my wrist. Now I have accordion and my reflectivity is baked in with my accordion. I like that better than the execution mid-digitally adding seams of the fingers. Again, nice work Klim. Moving to the knuckle. The knuckle is a little bit more ergonomic and it's a little bit bigger. It's also going to be backed by a little bit of Poron XRD for comfort, which is a molecular foam. Moving to the fingers. A bit of reinforcement. We now have perforation into those fingers. I will tell you, the perf is bigger. And we had perf on the last glove, a lot of perf. The perf on this glove is a bit of a trade-off. I'm going to move it over really quickly and show you the size of the perf in the palm compared to the size of the perf in the previous version. Now, what that's going to bring to mind is going to say, wow, it's going to flow a lot more air. But what they've done by taking away more leather is they've actually created a little bit more exposure. So while this is a goat skin, that's still going to carry a great safety and abrasion rating. Ultimately, whenever you start removing leather, you're weakening the leather. So this is not going to carry the same strength as the previous version. Just keep that in mind. Do I think it's apples and oranges? No. Do I think there's a little bit of additional exposure there? I do. Moving to the fingers, they've added some foam on the top sides of the fingers. Notice staying with their perf theme. If I turn this glove that way, you're going to see there's my top seam, there's my visor wiper, and then an additional seam externally stitched here on the bottom. And ultimately, that's giving you the ability to get those seams away from your fingers and stay more comfortable. Now, I do have touch tech on the index and the thumb, allowing you to pinch zoom on an iPhone or Android device. That's a multi-touch setup, which is nice. Previous version didn't do it. And then working our way into the palm, the other thing that I might gripe out a little bit, besides missing that out seam protection, they didn't quite capture that full seam, is that the previous version used Pitards. And Pitards leather is actually a bit more water resistant, and it has a bit of ceramic coating at a molecular level within the fibers of the leather. So it's a little bit more durable. They've dropped the Pitards on this version, and they've just beefed it up with additional goat skin. Keep that in mind. I don't think it's the end of the world, but I also do think that that's how they've managed to come in around that $130 mark. Now, moving to the palm of the hand, we see a nice big panel of Poron XRD, triple stitched into place. If we look at the previous version, it's a much bigger panel. It's also pushed a little bit off to the side, so it's going to give you a little bit more comfort, a little bit more protection if you happen to have a low side. It's also, if you see that stitching, that color is the aramidtic infused fiber. So it's stronger fibers and material that are going to be more abrasion resistant than your typical textile. Now, we already talked about your cinch down towards the bottom, very small micro Velcro, and then I love the fact that they're giving you this big, massive pull so that it's going to pull from a position of strength. Not every time you do this and pull the glove on, you might stretch out the other seams. All in, I'm a fan of the new Induction. I think if you can get past the aesthetic factor that the fingers look a little bit sloppier, but they're ultimately done to give you the maximum comfort, which I'm totally fine with, you end up with a pretty hardcore, 2-season, affordable, street-oriented glove. Really, in my opinion, I wouldn't even say it's street-oriented. I don't want you to confuse that with sport. I really think you can rock this in a lot of different types of riding and riding styles. Sport, sport touring, sport commuting. Ultimately, when hot weather needs to be met with protection and airflow, the Induction is going to be a great bet. Now, the next step in your journey is to click the info button, your desktop, your mobile device. Visit the product detail page at RevZilla.com. Read other rider reviews. You shouldn't just take my word for it. As always, we'll ship free over $39. If you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Stay up to date with our opinion of the latest and greatest in the moto universe. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.